It was a revolutionary idea, a way to treat cancer without the side effects of chemotherapy, and invented by a man from our area. Doctors called it promising, but it has hit a major roadblock.
I was frustrated at first, and then I became angry.
Human trials of the treatment are delayed indefinitely because of something that may frustrate a lot of people.
You may remember John Kansas's idea. He's the guy originally from our area that came up with using radio waves to kill cancer cells. I reported on it, 60 Minutes reported on it. People donated money to see the research move forward. But now, where it goes next is a real question. Trinity High School in Washington, PA, recently named the late John Kansas a distinguished alumnus. His widow, Mary Ann, accepted the award.
I think it's so wonderful. John would have been very touched and would have loved it because this is where he started.
But Kansas is best known for something later in his life, a groundbreaking idea to treat cancer.
His sister had it, his mother had it, but not until it was in his own body did he realize that some of the treatments were things that he considered inhumane.
I met John Kansas 9 years ago at his lab in Erie. He had been diagnosed with leukemia.
And I said to my wife, there has to be a better way to treat cancer.
That better way came from what he knew best. His background was in broadcasting, not medicine, so he was anxious to show me what radio waves can do.
Now, if I crank it up higher, you can see how bright the bulb gets. The interesting thing is, you put your hand in here, and you don't feel anything.
But the waves will heat up tiny pieces of metal called nanoparticles injected into the body. At the time, Kansas gave me an idea to show how small they are. To give you some perspective, imagine this dime is a nanoparticle. That means the cancer cell is the size of Heinz Field. So you can see how small these nanoparticles really are. He wondered if those particles could be directed just to cancer cells and then heated up to kill the cancer.
I don't know whether I'll be around for it to make a difference, but it was never about me anyways. It was really about others.
John Kansas died 3 months later, but his idea lived on.
There you go, you're on. Now it's already heating.
5 years ago, we visited Dr. Stephen Curley in Texas as his team continued to test Kansas's technique.
Boom.
Did it get hot enough there to kill a cancer cell?
The answer is we way overshot killing the cancer cell.
Dr. Curley told me how he had made a promise to Kansas.
He said, I just want to know that this is going to go on. And I said, John, you have my assurance that I'm going to get this to human trials.
And it looked like that would happen last summer in Italy. But then the money stopped. Neotherma Oncology, which owns the patent on the Kansas device, stopped paying Baylor College of Medicine, where Curley does his work. Baylor sued, claiming Neotherma breached a $9 million contract after paying only $800,000. But Neotherma countersued, claiming Baylor didn't fulfill the terms of the contract.
I was frustrated at first, and then I became angry.
Joyce Savacchio is a former mayor of Erie. She also led the earliest fundraising efforts for Kansas's idea.
I saw hope grow, and not only here in Erie, but from all over the country.
She says the Kansas Foundation raised $11 million before it reached its goal and closed. While that money has already been spent to push research forward, she believes the idea that a legal fight is keeping human trials from happening isn't fair to those donors. What do you think those people are owed now?
I think for all the people who believed in this, who hoped in it, they're owed a successful conclusion.
Dr. Curley tells me losing the funding was a major blow.
We lost about 90% of our lab staff because of issues with the funding, and we were able to kind of carry on with a skeleton crew.
Neither he nor Mary Ann Kansas are allowed to talk about the current legal battle, but Mary Ann says her husband's idea is already influencing cancer treatment.
There has been a change in medicine because of what he has done, even though his initial treatment has not been before the FDA.
But Dr. Curley says at this point, if human trials do go forward, it would not be with the original Kansas device. Instead, they'd need to expand on his idea with what research has taught them.
I think John would be absolutely ecstatic and excited by some of the things we've learned.
And despite the current stalemate, Mary Ann, Kansas holds on to the belief that one day her husband's dream will become a reality.
That is what we're hoping for and looking forward to.
And you still believe that'll happen?
Oh, I do. I do.
She remains positive. Now, I reached out to Neotherma, the company that owns the patent, to see what it plans to do next, but we have not gotten a response from them.
Wow. Okay, so all the money that's been donated, it's already been used for the research?
Yes, all that money did go to good use. It took the research to this point, and it's not part of the lawsuit.
All right, and what's next now?
It really depends on the court case. You know, it's set to go to court this fall, so we will see what the outcome is. That will determine a lot. Meantime, Dr. Curley says that he is applying for grants, hoping that they can find some big investors to keep this project alive.
Oh, we hope so. Anything to help in the fight against cancer. Thank you.
Absolutely.